Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I hope there are literally hundreds and thousands of people that are watching and watch this video. And I hope this thing goes viral because I'm about to drop the most crucial information that you could ever be given if you snowboard terrain parks. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or expert, this video is about to break down what every single park rider or person that wants to enter the park should know and needs to know. But first, I have to give a little backstory of how and why I'm even doing this video. So prep your ears, we got a bunch of net coming at you. Started off the morning, spilled my coffee beans all over the place. Couldn't get my camera to work, my boots didn't fit, everything was just kind of going off. I know how that works, so I took a 5-minute break, I went outside, I breathed deep into it because I didn't want it to escalate, I didn't want these things to magnify themselves, and sure enough, we pack up the cars with the boys, we're heading to the mountain. Forget my coffee, entire mug, and I'm fasting. I'm on a 12-hour fast, and I have no food, no coffee, so I'm well aware of what's going on, and I'm trying to fix it, but I see the cycle continue and continue. We get to the mountain, I forgot my pass at home. Now we're at the mountain, we're hungry, we don't have a pass, we're in the parks, but we're conscious of what this can still be. It can still be a good day because I'm aware of it. I put on my good music, I'm cruising through the park, first run, warming up. I hit a rail that has a transfer to another rail. There's nobody in the way when I'm hitting it, but there's a kid sitting to the side of the rail. I'm board sliding the first rail, I pop over to the next rail as the kid stands up, doesn't look uphill, drops into the landing right where I'm about to land. I'm a good enough rider to where I can land, hold my edge, and almost hit him, but cut to the side. He doesn't look uphill, cuts towards the other feature, which is a closeout, causing me to slam on my brakes again and slide and hit the feature, and he has no idea it even happened. I get down to the bottom to try to talk to him and tell him what was going on. We get into a feud somehow, and it ended up that he was having a rough day, I was having a rough day, and we squashed it super proper. We gave each other daps, we explained the scenario from both sides, and we worked it out. It was Gucci. So fast forward a couple more runs, and I'm cruising through the park, not even hitting any features. I see park crew hitting a closeout rail. He's board sliding it perfectly. There's a beginner rider riding right along with him, but a little ahead. The beginner rider starts to turn into the landing as my man pops off the rail. As you know, if you're in the air, you cannot control anywhere where you're going. He's a good enough rider, just like me earlier, to land, but he couldn't turn in time, smashed into the kid, kid caught a heel edge, flipped over his back, got smoked. The park crew literally apologized, knowing that he was in the right regardless, but you have to because it's your job. And I went down to the kid and I asked him, I was like, hey man, do you know what just happened and do you know why that happened? And he literally says, no, I don't have a clue. Can you tell me? That was my first time through the terrain park. And this is how you should handle a situation when you see somebody doing something wrong that puts themselves and other people in danger. You have to stay calm and you have to explain to them exactly what happened, what they could have done to prevent it, and what they should do next time in the future. This kid had no idea. So I explained to him what I just told you guys about how you cannot move if you're in the air, and also that if anybody is hitting a feature in the terrain park, they have right away. 100%. If you're not hitting the feature, your main thing needs to be to stay to the side of any feature towards the fence, and if you're ever going to traverse over because you want to get to another feature that's maybe smaller on the other side, turn your head, look uphill, look the other way, look back uphill, triple check, because this is your life and you're not trying to have the edge of a sharp board go into your back, and just make sure that no one's coming. Then you can cruise over and you can hit the feature. But you have to be very aware that everybody that is in a terrain park knows what they're doing, and you require speed to get through these features. So what I have come to conclude from this entire negative day is that I'm willing to take all of the brutal things that have happened to me to finally consciously realize that this is what's making me make this edit. So if none of that happened, I probably wouldn't have made this edit, which will potentially save hundreds of thousands of lives of people that are entering the terrain park, because the terrain park should be fun, but even more, it should be safe. We're already doing insane tricks. We're already riding at high speeds, super high consequence, that we don't need to be risking ourselves getting injured from impacting with each other. It's just not realistic. It's not what we're trying to do. And I'm pretty stoked right now. Not only because I was smart enough to bring some pollo up on the hill, but also because I think I have finally reset myself after I realized why all these bad things needed to happen to me, because I'm down to take the sacrifice for one day to be spilling coffee that I have and not having the most ideal day, ripping a perfect Bluebird Colorado day with the homies and not really feeling that on point. Those are quality problems That's what we're looking for in life. So now that we got all that out of the system, let's put on some tunes. Let's go try to find some of the homies. Maybe I'll stack some clips of the boys, or maybe I'll just be snapping right back into it now that I know the rest of this edit. We are gonna do our best to give you guys as many tips as we can that are gonna help you be safe for your first time, your 5th time, or your 500th time riding in a terrain park. And this goes for skiers and snowboarders, and chicken eaters. I can't stop, dude. This is...
What you doing, Bob?
Yeah.
The whole day was so negative.
Did you come to the lift bar when I was fighting with that orange guy?
Here's the thing. I literally turned this video into a, like, rules of the terrain park, like things you need to know.
Oh, wow.
For beginner, intermediate, and expert, so we can save our lives and the lives of everybody. So
yeah.
What kind of story did you have?
So I was cruising down the trail pretty fast, you know, coming around the bank turn, right? And then I have a guy who's on the far right side of the trail. And I watch people's heads and their eyes when they're riding and just try to see where they're looking, because it's kind of like you're on a highway, you know? So this guy's on the far right side of the trail. I'm watching him. He goes from this far right side, starts carving basically uphill. He's not looking at all. I'm cruising as well. It's a super busy trail. There's a lot of people out in the early season. And we got super close and I had to stop, and then I wanted to talk to him. He got super mad. He was swearing in my face and stuff like that. Just trying to tell him that, hey man, you got to watch where you're going on this trail, especially if you aren't as controlled. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, you got to know your lane and stuff like that. The question is, can you do a U-turn on a highway? No.
That leads me to say also that even if you are an experienced rider and you're mobbing down the hill, you got to be aware of the people that are in front of you that could make a sporadic move at any time, because their riding and their perception of what's going on is completely different than yours. If you know what you're doing, most beginner riders might not be able to even hold an edge on a straightaway, so they might catch their edge or have to traverse because they physically can't do it. It's literally like rolling dice. You just don't know what you're going to get with a beginner. So even if you anticipate what they're going to do, you just got to be aware and just be prepared for the craziest maneuvers at any point in time. But shout out to all beginners, because we're all there at one point. What do we got? One more run?
Maybe 2.
So we got -10 plus 11 runs left. Good.
Yeah, we do. Whoa. Yup. Very smart of you.
For everybody, if there's somebody that's in front of you that's going a little bit slow and you want more speed to hit that feature, or if they fall and you're about to hit it, do yourself a favor and do everybody a favor, go around the feature. It's one feature, there's so many more, you'll hit them next run. Which also leads into, if park crew is ever raking anything or near something or has their board on it, the entire feature is closed off. Altitude, bro. We got more. Dude, there was a lot that run.
Yeah.
The kickers in front of the features are made to hit that feature. And when you're approaching it, the rut gets dug in a certain way that aligns you to hit the feature properly, the way that it is. So if you're a beginner and you want to start hitting jumps, it is not okay to hit the side of the jump and go off of it and not hit the actual feature that it's made for, because it changes the rut and the direction of the rut that is made for hitting that feature, which puts every other rider that knows what they're doing in danger.
Good point.
This one's for literally everybody. Take a run and just cruise through the park. Look at what you're working with, because they could change stuff overnight. Sometimes they'll put a closeout or a rail at the end of another rail, and you'll go in just trying to hit a ball, not realizing as you get bucked, oh my God, there's a down bar with a donkey at the end of it. Like, just be aware of what you're approaching. It's always better to miss out on one run and look at your whole run and then be able to ride for the rest of the season. We're going for longevity, boys.
Always scope your runs, especially if it's a new terrain park. Early season as well. It's changing at all times.
Let's drip. Actually, wait, one last thing before we cruise through this run is that when you are scoping out your line and you're scoping out the features for the first time, the whole park is built so that you can flow through it. So don't cruise in between each feature while you're looking at it. Stay to the side while you're taking your first look through, because there's going to be riders that know what's going on and they're going to be mobbing through. Like your boys.
Like us right now.
Yo, quick tip. That one trick that I did the front lip same way, when the shade comes in halfway through the day, the rails get crazy sticky and you're sore and it's icy and you're trying to ride tomorrow.
Right.
Keep your neck in check.
How you doing?
There are too many things that I didn't cover, and we want to make this video super on point. So we're turning it into a double day. We brought the coffee this time. Vibes are all time. We got the new jacket. First runs through the park. Corduroy. Basically nobody's here, which is also a great time to learn. And we're gonna go see what they got set up right now. Keep in mind, these are warm-up tricks for my man.
So, what's up guys? One of the things when you're in the terrain park as a beginner, you're gonna take falls. And if you're not smoked, just pop up and get to the side as quickly as possible. If you are cruising and you see somebody else take a fall that needs help, get to the top of the lip and exit off so everybody above the run can be aware of what's going on.
And to add to that, if you're hiking a feature and you're strapping in, make sure that you're not sitting in or near the landing either.
So I know when you're riding in the park, it can be a little intimidating and there's a lot of other riders that are probably a lot better than you or much more into park riding already. Don't be nervous. A lot of times in the beginning, it's good to sit on the side and just watch people hit features. Observe how much speed they take into it, where they slow down. You'll see in the snow little marks, like sideways marks where the edges have of other riders. Use that as a placement for where they start when hitting an object. And also you can always go up to people. People in snowboarding are generally really nice, as long as you don't cut them off beforehand.
All right, so we're approaching the first feature down here. A lot of people like to stand, and we're just gonna cruise through. Watch what my man does to let everybody know casually that he's dropping in front of them. All right, so a lot of times too, you'll see people sitting over a knuckle just like this. If you're gonna chill somewhere, pull off to the side where you know people can see you from afar and they're not gonna be hopping in the air and dome-piecing your helmet. All right, we're just gonna knock out the rest of this sheet before we hit the 30-minute marker. All right, if you're cruising into a feature and there's somebody kind of near you and you both are battling for who's gonna hit it and you're not gonna hit it, verbally announce, hey, it's all you, man, not hitting it. Game changer. Not only don't hit the features when park crew is raking them, but if they're closed, usually there might be something wrong with it and it's actually a danger. So if something's closed, it's closed for a reason. Do your best to not hit it. And as much as we were stressing yesterday to look uphill, look uphill, look uphill, make sure that you look downhill before you look uphill because you're moving forwards and something can change in front of you and you don't want to be looking uphill to try to save yourself and then smash into somebody that stopped in front of you. So always look downhill, look uphill, check your surroundings. So important.
Communication between other people when you're listening to music. It's good when you know the park, but when you're unaware of your surroundings, it's kind of good to be able to hear other people when they're letting you know that they're hitting a feature, or if somebody's coming up faster behind you, it's a lot safer to be able to hear people. So not listening to music is really beneficial.
Keeps you on point.
Keeps you on point. You know, keeping yourself safe. If you're gonna, you know, if you're riding, just kind of cruising around the rest of the resort, it's one thing. But when you're gonna enter the terrain park and be with other riders that are trying to, you know, not only do something that's already dangerous, but be aware themselves, it's kind of nice to be sober and not be drinking or not, you know, be intoxicated in a terrain park, because you put a lot of other people at risk and not as well as yourself. So, you know, just try to be safe.
We've also been riding a lot lately, and if you're not fully feeling it, keep your tricks basic. 50-50s, carbs, just have fun. You don't always have to be throwing down like your boys. All right, Coach Tommy V's got one banger tip for you guys.
My biggest tip is just simply give people space. You don't want to just hit a rail while somebody's already on it, because they're gonna fall and you're probably gonna run into them. So just give them some space.
You heard it from the man. All right, guys, I'm gonna take the goggles off, show you my eyes to really let you know how important this video is to me and how serious I am when I say all of this stuff, and that even if you do make some of these mistakes, or you have before, it's about just communicating and being aware, always looking around, trying to let people know and coordinate what's going on so that we can all snowboard and ski, have as much fun as we can while being safe. And I don't say this often, but this is a big one, and it's bigger than me. If you guys got any information from this, or you think it benefited you 1% or can benefit anybody else, do me a huge favor and this whole world a favor. Give this video a share, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in case we missed anything epic. Phew.